Hello guys, welcome to our next video in the React.js series for beginners. In this video, we are going to cover the very important topic in React, which are props. What are props in React.js? So basically, I have set up a basic Create React application. I have deleted the rest of the files, and this is just plain app.js and index.js. As I mentioned, we just deleted any other CSS and unnecessary files. We have only two files in SRC folder. Okay, we will be using these two files in our upcoming videos as well. So now let's come to our topic. What are props? Yeah, just a second. Props to component are same as input to functions. So as we know, our components are but nothing but just a function. Okay. So let's just say we create a function, we create a component. Let's call it test component, or let's call it person component. Okay, .js. And I will create a person component using RFCE shortcut. Okay. Now, what I am going to do here is I will do some changes. I will write, for example, h2 tag, and I will write name, and I will write p, for example, font, and then I will write h2 tag again. I will write city, and I will use p tag. I will write Karachi. Okay, and let's come back over here. And in this component, we can call our person component. Okay, it will automatically be imported. If it's not, you will have to make sure that you will type it. Now let's go over here and you see name and city are printed on the screen. So far, so good, straightforward. That was very straightforward, what we have already learned. Now, what I want is I want to make this name and city dynamic. I want to take it from over here. Okay. So I want to pass it over here. So for example, I can write name is equal to uh, Anthony, for example, and then city, maybe like we can call it city, maybe SF, okay, San Francisco, for example. So for now, there will be no change in our component. But now what we can do over here is we can write an input object just like we write and properties, the input parameters. We can write props over here, and we can just first of all we will just console.log what is in our props. Okay, I will do this. Props are this, and now I am going to open the inspector or developer tool, whatever you want to call it. I will come over here and you see props are this, and just ignore this gray area. They are repeated usually because of React. Usually renders two times. You just ignore it. You see that's an object and it has city and name. It's just a simple plain object. It has converted into an object whatever we passed over here. So these are the basically the props of this component, and we can capture them in props object, and we can console.log over here. Similarly, if we want to dig deeper, we can say name, and we can simply say props.name. Now, if you see, let's reload. First is props, and the second thing is name. Okay, and that is empty. Now, what we can do is we will use these values inside our component. So now, instead of font, we will do props.name. Okay, and instead of Karachi, we'll do props.city. Now you can see Anthony and SF, they are here over, they are now dynamic. They're coming from our parent component. We can comment these control statements. I will not remove it for reference. We can come over here. So I want to show you the power of doing this. So now we can say Alexander, just make it Alex, and we can say he is from New York. So you see another person component is rendered, and now it's Alex and Envy. New York. We didn't have to create a person two component and write it all over everything all over again. Okay, so that's basically the power of props, and that's basically how we get the reusability feature of React, which is the strength of React. So that's how we can reuse a single component for creating, which produces different outputs. So that's about it. And now we will start diving into, that's the idea of props. That's basically the basic idea of props, and that's it. You know what props is. And now we will dig deeper about different nitty-gritties and what variations you can have in props, and you need to know them. Okay, that's not optional. That's very important. So now we are over here. So we are using it props.name and props.city over here. So I will tell you a better approach to make it clear, to make our code look cleaner. We will use destructuring. We will use this and we will write props over here. So now these we don't need to write props again and again over here. Okay, these will be used from over here. So now Alex and Anthony are printed as it is. So this is basically using, this is called destructuring. So whatever this is, props is an object now. So we are destructuring the values over here. This line is basically, if you are not sure about it, this line is equivalent to this. Const name is equal to props dot name, and const city is equal to props dot city. So they are same. Okay, these two lines are equal. This line is equivalent to these two lines. This is the shortcut. Okay. Now what we want is, now this is the one way, and now this is the destructuring. That's one way of destructuring. Then there is, let me put it after one. First way, one way, way to destructuring method. This is another destructuring method, and let me save it. Now name and city are undefined. Now let's just go with it. Let's just go with it. I will create a new component. Let's call it feature component, and RAFCE, and it will again take props as input, and it will have, for example, let's say we can write feature name, and we can say over here equal to, sorry, and then we can have subject, subject, and it's can call it, for example, mathematics. So now in our app component, we will use this feature component, and we can pass them whatever name we want. We can, let's just, let's not just not pass this, pass this. You see, teacher name is already Mr. K in mathematics. It's coming over here already. Now we want to, what we want to use is, we can similarly, we can take this name and subject from props. So we can pass it from here. First of all, let's say name is equal to, we can say Harry Potter, and subject, we can say he is expert in magic. Okay. And here we can say, we can write name, and similarly over here we can write subject. So these two are undefined. Name, sorry, name, subject is not defined. So how do we define it? We can use again a similar method, name subject equal to prop. So we structure this, and you see now Harry Potter and magic is coming over. So what if what if these values, uh, what if we want to destructure it? I want to show you another method of destructuring. So we can destructure it right inside our input area, the parameter, where we write the argument. We have to use brackets and we can write like this, name and subject, because we know these two variables will be available, so we will write them and it will automatically be structured over here. So we have taken this statement to over here. So now you again see this is rendered over here. So these are just another ways of destructuring the items. So you will not get confused when you see them somewhere. You will know what they are doing. So that's why I am covering these variations. Now there is another variation, but let me go through this. Okay. Now what we want is we are passing this, and now we can try default arguments as well. So we can, let's just call it default argument component. So I hope that's not very difficult. You can say title, we can pass title. It's going to be this, and we can write title equal to default title. Okay, now we come over here and we will create this component. Now this component takes an argument called title and we will write it. We can say software engineer, and now let's see what's coming over here. You can see title is software engineer, but what if I create it again, but I don't pass title in it? So what you see, title is default title. If I don't pass anything, it will take this default value which I have written over here. So that's how you write default props as well. You can work with default props. And now what you can do is we can pass this name and subject in a new way. Now let's just say I want to create a teacher object, and its name and subject. So as name and subject, we can write it over here. You can write it name obj and subject is JavaScript, for example. Okay, now we need to pass this name and subject. What we can do is we can just pass it like this, and we can write teacher over here. Now you see over here, each name obj and JavaScript is passed. You see now another way of compressing these props while we are passing them it will be destructured over, it will be spread over here, right? It will be spread over here, like name will be name obj and subject is JavaScript. So I hope it makes sense how it will be destructured in this matter, in this way. Okay, so that's another variation about component, about the arguments. Let me see if there is anything left. Yeah, now we will go to children props. That's another important component. Okay, we can we will cover our now the children component. Okay, let's create a component we can call my test children dot.js. Okay, RAFCE. It will create this component again, and now what we will do is we are going to take few arguments. For example, it's a if it is a book component, it takes a book, and it takes some absurd, or you can say some content, okay, inside it. So it also prints up content inside it. So let me show you one thing. Let me show you let me do something, write something so that you will get the idea. Movie title. So it will come from title only. That is fine. Now summary, for example, summary. Summary we can say You want summary, we want summary as well over here. So I will not take summary right over here, but I will show you how another way of taking summary. I can comment this, so we don't see anything over here, and we will just call our my test children component, and it takes an argument of, sorry, I forgot what is the argument title. So I will write title, and let's just say Superman. So yeah, movie title and summary is missing. Now, what I want is summary will be coming from here, and I will be passing it over here. Okay. So I will whatever I write inside here, it should print over here below the summary. So for example, I can say Superman movie is great, and another tag you can say, for example, first of all, you can say actually I love Superman, and then you say Superman movie was great. Now I want all of this inside it to be rendered below summary. Now this is basically the children of this component. I have made them as nested. These are nested inside my test children, or these are the children of my test children, whatever you want. This is called the nesting because they are inside. So now there is a special prop called children. Okay, now what you can do is you can just render your children over here. That's it. So you see Superman movie was great. I love Superman and Superman movie was great. It's coming below the summary. So that's what the children prop is. That's a special prop. Okay, you can put it over here. So similarly, so if you don't take your props over here, if you just write props, then you can restructure similarly over here, title, comma, children is equal to props. And that's it. But we are not importing, we are not using that method, so we will remove it. If you are using props only, so then you will write this line, otherwise you don't need to write this line. It will come automatically. So that's about it. So that's about it, I guess. That's about the children component. You will have to, I will recommend you try a few component by passing these children to practice. And now we will, there is this third part left, which is passing functions as props. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, over here we can comment this part. Now let's see. We want to create a function. We want to create a button, for example, first. Okay, click me. You see there is this click me, but nothing is happening over here. Now what I can do is I want to attach an event. Okay, and you have to see on click, it's now camel case, as I mentioned, and now you have to create this handle click function. What you will, how you will create it, you will write, we can make use of a whole new component for this. Okay, so this doesn't look messy. We can create a new component for to understand function props. Okay, RAFCE, it is over here, and we will just save it, and we will just call it over here to see if it is working fine. So yeah, function props, it's printed over here. Now we will come over here. We will just create a button over here. Sorry, button, and it will be click me, and you will see a button over here. Okay, which is not doing anything. I will attach an on click handler to it, and it will be angle click, and we have to create this as a function. So, and it will not take any argument. It will be a function. If we save, it will format it, and we will just do console.log click. Okay. So now when I click on it, no, that's just the old console log. If I click on it, you see click. If I click on it again, you see click 2 times. If I click on it again, you see click 3 times, and so on and so forth. If I keep clicking on it. Now what happens is, so this is how, so first of all, you have to digest this. What happened over here, when we add a event listener on click, we are passing a function reference, and we are defining it over here. Just make this is above return. Okay, this is an arrow function. You can create the normal function as well, but I will recommend use arrow function. And there's one thing to note: do not put the empty brackets over here, just the normal brackets. Okay, we will come to it later about the nitty gritties of it. So now what I want to mention about the props is that you can pass functions as props as well. So what if I comment this, I create a new file, button component, and I am creating this component over here. So just wait for a while and you will see why we are creating it. I am creating the button component over here. Click me component. Okay. And now in our function props, I will use this component. I will render this component. Okay. And I will call button component over here. Okay. So now you see click me component is not doing it's a click me component. Okay. It's not this. It's coming from button component, which is here, click me component. Now on click of it, I want to call, I will take, I want to call a function which is comes from here. So I can define the function over here, but I want to take it from its parent. So I will use props and I will write props dot handle click. Okay. So now over here, I will pass handle click is equal to handle click. So that's basically the variable name which is used by button component. And this is the name of our function. Let's go over here and click on it. You see it's now giving click again. Okay. Now for clarity, you can say handle click prop. Then you have to write handle click prop over here. Okay, this should be matched. This should match with this variable, and this should match with the function of over here, function name over here. Okay, if we come over here now, you click on it. You see, click is printed on the console. So yeah, I guess that's basically that I want to tell you about how you can pass functions as well as props. But there is a little caveat when you pass the components. You have to read this. First, we can pass the combination function as props as well. There is a hook, but there is a hook name use callback that you may need to use, which is required to avoid unnecessary re-rendering of child component to improve performance. But more on use callback later in a separate video. All right. So yeah, you can pass functions for now. You should know this. So this is all about props for now. So we have tried multiple variations. I'll appreciate you try multiple examples of these variations because we will be using them every now and then, and I will not be going through them in detail. Okay. So yeah, I guess that's about it in this video. I'll see you in the next one. Do subscribe our channel, like the video, and leave your comments. And do join the community of Discord, where you will be able to learn together with the like-minded people, and you will get your doubts solved in the community. And we will be also discussing about blockchain development. If you're interested in that, you should join our blockchain channels as well. So yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next video.